Today I'm going to talk about how I made a hazy beer with no adjuncts. It's right here. I'm Andrew, running on beer. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And it's been a while. I did not really want to make this an unboxing channel, so today's not an unboxing of hops. It's using hops. So this is a Phantasmic, I guess. I've been calling it Hop Narwhal. 16 pounds of Pilsner malt, South Fork Pilsner malt from Cynthiana, Kentucky. Half a pound of Carapils, quarter pound of Victory malt. Very simple malt bill. I brewed this in October. October 21st, according to my notes. Today's January 8th. It's still hazy. It's also just lots of tangerine. Little bit of like a, it's almost like a celery kind of thing, which may be from the Phantasm powder. So the boil hops, very simple. 2 ounces of mash hops, 2 ounces of Saaz mash hopped in a bag. I followed the directions. I'm pretty sure they were from Yakima Valley Hops on how to do this. So I put the 2 ounces of mash hops in a bag. Then when I went to sparge, I rinsed off the bag a little bit with the sparge water, and then ultimately used that for 60 minutes boil. That's the only boil hops. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes just to make sure. Yeah, no boil hops. Used just a New England IPA mineral profile, calcium chloride. Roughly, I think it looks like a 2.5 to 1 calcium chloride versus gypsum. A little bit of Epsom salt in there. A little bit of lactic acid to acidify. I use RO water, so I went start to finish with the minerals. I used 4 ounces of Citra dry hops, and I think I actually used another 4 ounces of Galaxy dry hopped. Whirlpool, I used 2.5 ounces of Phantasm powder. So that was the only Whirlpool edition. I think I used Irish Moss. I shouldn't say that was the only Whirlpool edition. So Irish Moss at 15, Phantasm powder at knockout, 15 to 20 minutes, I think, for the Phantasm powder just to whirlpool, and then left it in there as I chilled, with a counterflow chiller. So it started out at 1065, 1066, finished at 1019, so pretty high finishing gravity. So it used heliogazer for the yeast, and that's probably where all of this haze is coming from. And I mean, like I said, I brewed it on October 21st. It's January 8th, so this has been in my keg for a while. But still, plenty of tropical fruit, particularly tangerine. Some passion fruit in there too. Lots of passion fruit and tangerine. Great mouthfeel. I didn't write down when I mashed this on, but it had to have been mashed high, and I'm pretty sure I went with a high mash temperature just to try and get as much body as I can. So that, apparently it's all the yeast. So dry hops were dropped after fermentation, so fermentation appeared complete. Heliogazer still has like a cloudy fermentation. It doesn't really drop clear in the fermenter. I think I left it in there for a week and a half, even though I was pretty sure it was complete. And even it hit 1018 4 days later. So, and I left it in for a full week before dry hopping. So it had some time in the fermenter, but it was dry hopped after fermentation, or maybe it went down a point afterwards, but I don't think it did. So yeah, it came out for a nice beer. The Phantasm powder is wonderful, particularly if you use the correct yeast for it. The heliogazer. And we did a brewtubers thing where people were using various yeasts, from the same company, and lots of great beers. So, cheers and happy Homebrew Wednesday.